All right, y'all. So the objective of this assignment, like it says here, design and facilitate a professional communication workshop. So you're going to choose a topic, you're going to learn that topic, and then you are going to present that topic to your audience, to your class. And this assignment is meant to help you with your organizational skills, presentation skills, facilitation skills, which you can use in almost any professional setting, right? So the assignment overview, you're going to work individually for this particular assignment, and then you're going to present this workshop to your classmates. You're going to follow this process to ensure that your workshop is engaging, informative, and effective, right? Make sure that you realize who you're presenting to, which are your classmates. And so, first of all, you're going to choose a topic. There are a few right here that I've included that you could possibly choose from. I also put a list down here at the very bottom of the instructions, just more possible topics for your workshop. So, these are just some possibilities. If there's something else you like that deals with professional communication and is more relevant to you, like I had some students working in retail who wanted to learn more about dealing with difficult customers. So they did that for their assignment, right? And if you see something like that that you like that's going to be relevant to you, just let me know and, we can go from there. So define the workshop goals. You really want to know what your audience is going to get out of it, right? So um, if your objective is to you want the audience to learn about setting boundaries in a professional setting, then you make sure that your goals are achievable, like for your audience, and something like by the end of my workshop, I want the audience to know what setting healthy boundaries looks like, and some tips for helping you set those boundaries. Right? That could be your goals. Decide who will attend. So if you're setting up a workshop out like in a professional setting, then you would have to decide this because you're doing it in the classroom. Then your audience is going to be your class, right? And based on when you attend class, what it looks like around you every day, how many students you will have, the makeup of the students. And so make sure that you are tailoring your presentation to those students, right? Make it interesting and engaging for them. So hypothetically, if you were again in a professional setting, you would have to know, okay, what venue am I going to be presenting in? What kind of resources do I have to work with, right? Projectors, whiteboards, things like that. Here, you have internet. You can hook up to the TV to present. You have whiteboards. But in a professional setting, you would need to plan all these things out ahead of time. All right, so the agenda. Develop a detailed agenda for your workshop. Make sure you have an introduction, right? How are you going to introduce this to the topic and engage the participants? Your main points, just what you're going to cover, the activity. And it's something I should mention, y'all, is you can put this, and I recommend that you do put all of these things right here, like on the first slide after your title slide on your presentation. You just put these things. Your audience, it's always easier if they know what's coming during that day, right? What the agenda is. So it will help them and it will help you, and it will probably give you a better grade if you include this. Right. So the activities, again, make sure you have the main concepts. The activities here, group exercises or discussions to reinforce learning. So for this, y'all, like a discussion, throw out some questions to the class, maybe hit like two or three people with some questions. Or you could do like a role play game where you give them an index card that has like a situation, a scenario where, say, you're talking about setting boundaries, and one person is the employee and the other is the boss, and the boss comes in and starts making all these ridiculous demands that the employee is going to work over the weekend, and they're going to put in extra time and not get any overtime pay, things like that. And then you give it to them and you're like, how would you react as the employee, right? And then you just let it play out. You can do a game if you want to create a bingo card or something like that, some kind of scavenger hunt. Then do those things. Those will be ex- um, as part of your activities, those discussions or games or whatever you choose to do. So visual aid, I put this in a highlighter right here because for your visual aids, you're going to need two of them, right? And most people choose a presentation, Google slide presentation or Canva, whichever PowerPoint, whichever you want to use. That's usually the main one people go for because it's easy, it's convenient to create, and it helps you organize your thoughts so you can stay organized, right, when you're presenting. The other one that a lot of students go with are handouts. And these handouts, y'all, you don't even have to create them yourselves necessarily. If you Google PDF, some what is it just PDF and then you put handout for setting boundaries, or tips for improving communication, whatever it is. If you hit that, you Google that with the PDF, then it will possibly give you some options that you can print out. Right. And if you find something that fits, it's got to fit with your presentation, right? It can't just be some random printout that you print out. If it goes with your presentation, then just send me that file and I will print those out for you to hand out. Right. So again, the main types are a slideshow and a handout. But if you want to create like a poster board or something like that, that's also, an example of a visual aid. And then the conclusion right here, how you're going to wrap this up, the workshop and key takeaways. Make sure that those are clear, that you're letting your audience know at the end. So I hope you'll take away the importance of setting boundaries in the workplace, and take these tips with you to help you improve your boundary setting skills. Right. And just make sure again that you make that strong conclusion at the end so that people remember what you talked about. It makes you a more effective presenter. Right? Then a follow up plan. So one of the things you have to prepare before your presentation is like a questionnaire with about like five questions, and these questions will just be like things like, how did the presenter do? Do you have any feedback for how the presenter can improve? On a scale of 1 to 10, how likely would you recommend this workshop to one of your classmates? Something along those lines to give you feedback, right? Because we talked about the growth mindset. The way you get better is by taking feedback into consideration and then learning and improving from that, right? Developing. And then it's going to be important to practice your workshop. Don't just come out and read straight off of your slides where it looks like you didn't really learn what you were researching, like you just copied and pasted and you're just like rereading straight off the slides. Don't do that, y'all, because that is not really presenting. That's you reading off the slides while people watch you read off a slide, right? Read a little bit off the slide, but turn to your audience, engage them, talk to them like you're having a conversation with them. Right. And if you're nervous like about that, always just kind of look at the top of the eye line, like at people's foreheads. They think that you're looking at them, but you don't necessarily have to make that eye contact. It's just like a little trick that presenters use. So you're not really making eye contact with them, but it kind of looks like you're making eye contact with someone in the audience. Right. So make sure you practice your workshop. And then presentation day, you're going to deliver that to the class. Ensure that your presentation is interactive, that you involve your audience in discussion or activities, right? That's going to be part of the grade. After the workshop, distribute your survey and get that feedback from participants. Right. So just remember, your workshop should be at least 7 minutes long. That includes the activity, right? 7 minutes seems like a long time, but when you throw in an activity or a discussion, that takes up a lot of that time. Right? A lot of students end up going well over the 7 minutes. So use at least those two types of visual aids. Like I said, slides, handouts, but you can create poster boards and charts and things like that if you prefer. Just make sure you have two different kinds of visual aids. Participation, include at least one group activity or discussion. I mentioned that already. And then just make sure you pass out that questionnaire. Right. And this is some of the grading criteria. I'm not going to go over all of these things right here because you all have a rubric that has more detail in your Google Classroom. So these are like the basics right here, but I will go into more detail in those rubrics. You'll have 2 weeks to complete this assignment. So we did start this week. We will be presenting them next week. And in class, I'll give you a more exact date on this. Right. And then so here, like I said, you can use different types of software or applications to use to create your slideshow and your handouts. And if you need help, make sure that you are asking me, right? Especially like during the weekdays, during class time, and on Fridays. Right. So these are just like a more in-depth description of what this assignment is.